self-made, a hard-working man. He fixed broken down cars he saved from the junkyard. Broken down people saved by the word of God. Well, he was never too busy to teach me, oh, how I loved him. I never thought he would leave me. And when my dad died, I hung my head and cried. So much pain inside, I had to stretch my hands and reach towards the sky. But then I looked up one day, I could hear my daddy say, child, you got work to do. God's gonna see you through. He said, always remember this, that the tough get going, but life gets hard. Straighten up your back and trust in the Lord. Get up, get ready. Yeah. You got to get ready. You got to get ready. Get up, get ready. Yeah. You gotta get ready. Yeah. You say your situation's bad, down and out and feeling sad. You lost your job, they repossessed your car. Can't get too far. Maybe all your hope is gone. Maybe you're about to lose your home. But don't let the devil deceive you. God will never leave you. And so don't you give up. Don't give in. If you just hold on, hey, you can win. 'Cause child, you got work to do. God's gonna see you through. Always remember these words I'm telling you. Hold your head up and don't give up the fact. The tough get going when life gets hard. Straighten up your back, trust in God. Get up, get ready.
You ought to write that book. You ought to begin that new project. You ought to go back to school and get that degree. You ought to just do it. Just do it. You ought to just do it. Just do it. Stop saying next year I'm gonna do it. You ought to go ahead and do it. If you have a mountain, you ought to climb it. If you have a river, you ought to cross it. If you have a dream, you ought to chase it. If you have a vision, you ought to pursue it. If you have an idea, you ought to do it. If you have a bad habit, you ought to break it. If you have a handicap, overcome it. If you have a talent, just develop it. If you have a song, just sing it. If you have a sermon, just preach it. If you have a poem, just recite it. If you have hope, just express it. If you have life, just live it. When you decide that you're going to get up, whenever you decide that nothing or nobody